DJI just updated their firmware on a number of devices, including the Avata 2. Along with added compatibility with a number of other controllers, you can now record 4K 100 frames per second video. Let's take a look into that. DJI's new firmware for the Avata 2, released on May 28, 2024, brings your Avata 2 firmware to version 01.00.0300. Why is this important? Higher frame rates mean more options for you in recording and editing videos. If you need to do slow motion, now you can slow down the video by a factor of 3 and still have very useful and good-looking 4K 30 frames per second to work with. Even if you want to slow it down more, you can still have a reasonable frame rate to make things look quite smooth. So let's compare. This is what 4K 30 frames per second slowed down 3 times looks like. And this is 4K 100 slowed down 3 times. The difference is huge and gives you so many more options for editing and producing good video. If you're filming fast-moving scenes with lots of action, this makes your slowed down video look much better, and it will be much more effective for your viewers. Another advantage of the higher frame rate is having more options for higher shutter speeds. The image sensor on the Avata 2 is a 1/1.3 sensor with a fixed aperture of f2.8. This matters because unlike a standard camera where you can adjust the shutter speed and f-stop independently, with a fixed aperture you can't adjust your f-stop to let in more or less light when you change your shutter speed. The rule of thumb for natural looking video is you want your shutter speed to be double your frame rate. The reason you want this is to give your footage that natural blurring effect from the camera moving quickly past objects. This is what our eyes are used to and expect. When you're filming at the standard 4K 30 frames per second, this means your shutter speed would be 1/60. That's all well and good, except that 1/60 shutter speed with f2.8 means that you're going to be overexposed on anything brighter than a dim, cloudy day. Of course, you fix that with ND filters, which are basically like sunglasses for your camera. Just snaps onto the front of the drone just like this. The thing is, with 100 frames per second frame rate, using the rule of thumb above, this results in you wanting to set your shutter speed to 1/200. This, of course, lets in much less light and means you can use a much lower ND filter, or better yet, depending on the conditions, maybe no ND filter at all. With limited battery life of a drone and not wanting to have to land and take off again when changing shooting modes just to add or change ND filters, this again may give you more options. You can see the differences here between 4K 30 at 1/200th of a second shutter speed and 4K 100 at 1/200th a second shutter speed. Higher possible frame rates mean more options for you. Overall, this is a great update for the Avata 2, and for anyone that wants more options in their video footage. And just to have better all-around footage, the addition of 4K 100 is going to be massive. If you haven't already, go ahead and update to this latest firmware, and then get out there and get some great footage. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, give me a like and subscribe and hit notify and leave your thoughts in the comments. Really helps out a lot. Happy flying, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.